Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail email.
Absolutely. Before that, I always like to give you a gift. I like to give you the gift of my daughter bullying me. Today, I thought I would bully my daughter. She does something that I think is uniquely Dennis, is that we like to be naked. We're naked people.
Okay.
And my dad and I, when we were, when I was young and when he was living, and I was probably around Maisie's age, I'd say I was around 9 or 10, my dad and I would sprint down the hallway completely naked into the kitchen where my mom is at. We would rat-a-tat her with our penises and twirl just to drive her crazy, and then we'd run back to the bedroom to take our showers or bath.
Okay, yeah.
My daughter, without me even telling her, which just gives you more fuel for your it's in the blood theory that you've been harping for years, my daughter will run into our kitchen unprovoked and scream that she's going to take her shower completely naked.
Okay, all right.
So this morning, I decide that I'm going to bully my daughter by doing an impression of her running down the stairs naked. And I'm going to mock her by going, look, I'm Maisie. I'm going to take my shower, guys. And mock her in front of the family. So I run down the stairs naked into the kitchen. I yell, look, I'm Maisie. I'm going to take my shower. It's kind of this thing where I've been telling her, you don't have to tell me you're taking a shower. Just go take your damn shower.
Okay.
I don't need the big announcement. So she proceeds to start doing a rap song called, what'd she say? Acne Butt. No, she's all scarred up and an acne butt. All scarred up and an acne butt.
Okay, all right.
This is what she's saying to me.
She's freestyling.
She starts
a
freestyle
bullying
rapping
song.
a bullying rap song to me. I created all of this. I made that. I made that through sex with my wife. That's who I am. She starts saying all scarred up and an acne butt to me.
Don't be a fidget. Look at this.
Yeah. She was, good job. Good job, Uncle Tom. She hug you. Yeah. I know you love a good bullying. All scarred up with an acne butt.
Second week in the row with the fidget joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep it going.
All right, voicemails, emails. You can leave us voicemails. You can leave us emails. Just get our free app. There's a button called Mediocre Messages on there. You can send us pictures. You can send us voicemails. You can send us videos. And also email show@tomandan.com. Let's go with this one right here. Brand spanking new. Howdy, Dan, Tom, and special guest of Hanging Around. I think I'm getting old enough just to pay for parking when going to an out-of-town event place. Doesn't feel like a win, but I'm trusting myself less finding the out-of-town safe free parking spot. Just curious if y'all are paid parking people or spend extra time looking around the venue for free parking spots. Ever go through a towed away car experience? Drive safely, Clay.
Well, this is right up Daniel's alley because his favorite thing in life is the VIP
super,
parking.
Yeah. I love the
best
expensive,
parking
yeah.
you could buy.
I do love the best parking money could buy.
And I was...
You used to really crap on me for this, but buddy, I still am a believer in it. I love it.
So here's where our
I'll pay
Venn
more for
diagram
parking
crossover.
than the ticket for the concert.
yeah, it's more important.
Yeah, I'll get a $300 parking space and a $20 seat.
No, yeah.
100%. I did that for the Magic game.
Yeah.
I did it for the last season. I did it for the playoff game.
So I did get the luxury of getting a VIP parking when our buddy Justin from Tampa.
Good call.
He gave us some. Remember when I went to see who's that old country singer?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
And
Your
Ava
wife
Brothers
got me a
album.
shirt. Yeah, that was really cool.
So because he had the ticket, he gave us the tickets that had the VIP parking. And man, you
It's unbelievable.
They ushered you like, oh, VIP, and then they
sometimes I give you a bottle of water as you're walking out.
Way past the we went to this behind the venue and then parked in the grass and just walked right in. And I was like, oh, this is nice.
It changes your experience.
And
the ticket won't change the experience as much as the parking will.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I really will make that argument.
Because we passed in passing the line of people and watching everybody going past that and
miserable.
parking
And
behind.
those people are miserable.
Yeah, and then see like that. It starts the whole night off great.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
It really does.
And,
it sets the tone, man.
And enjoying the concert, knowing you could just walk out the back and get in your car and
takes
leave.
away anxiety.
Yeah,
takes away some anxiety.
You're not forced to be like, let's get out early so we can beat the rush of traffic.
Guess who hates this?
What?
You know.
Cheapo wife?
Oh, my
yeah,
cheapo wife. My cheapo wife. Should I do a song or a show called My Cheapo Wife?
So
She's only one step below those people that find the loophole on web deals and buy like 40 cans of beans and resell them on eBay. She's that close, dude. You seen those people?
Yeah.
There's a loophole on Big
That's
Lots
an
where you
illness.
can buy Lubriderm and it's only $1 a bottle. It's a loophole. They buy 400 bottles, ship them to their house, and then they resell them on eBay.
So
That's how cheap my wife is.
after I did this experience, I did come up with a perfect gift for other people. You know, people you have a hard time buying gifts for in your life.
We don't know what to get you ever.
VIP parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know. I'll tell my wife. I honestly will tell my wife.
So
where do you want it though?
Well, you gotta. I don't go like. I mean, Crystal knows.
Nobody would change a Crystal experience. Let's say Crystal decides she wants to go for the 20,
she drags me to all this.
But if Andrea stepped in and said, you know, for his birthday this year, we're getting Crystal and the family.
Yeah, VIP
parking
for this event. That's a great. Yeah.
You'll be hugging on. You're like, oh, this is better. Yeah.
And
I'm gonna do that.
Talk to whoever it is you want to give a gift for, and you can never find out a gift. Find out if they're going to any event, including football games.
This may be low key the best piece of advice we've ever given on this show in almost 20 years of doing that.
And find out whatever concert they're going to, and then go because it's usually not that crazy. It could be like the most like $80.
At the most, I was gonna say $85 is the most I've only ever paid. $85 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
It's usually not past 100, depending, I guess, where you're
I've never
at.
paid 100 past 100.
But so you can get it somewhat reasonable. It's not going to break the
Ponte
bank.
Vedra, when I went to see John Moreland, $40, right?
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Like the tickets are way astronomical. Like screw that. And the tickets are all like depending on the person what they want to see. But the VIP parking, it's a great gift, and they will appreciate it the whole night because again. You get there, it's great, and then you think to yourself, oh, I don't have to leave early. I don't feel the pressure of like, let's leave while the last song's playing so we can beat the rush. It's like VIP out.
I hate doing that.
Yeah.
That's why we had to leave the Casey Musgrave show early because my daughter has parking anxiety because of the damn Geico garage here in town. She literally got traumatized from that.
Well, it's just everybody thinks about it because then after you're like, all right, especially when you're at the concert or whatever, you're like, okay, I've had a good time. I don't need to catch the last song, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that will, the enjoyment I'll get from the last song is not enough to justify waiting in a huge line to get out of here.
But what if I told you could have the last song?
No, I know.
I know. It's great.
Oh, yeah. And then you're telling yourself, you're arguing, you're like, just don't be an old man. Just enjoy the whole thing and leave. It is what it is. But then you keep telling
you sound like me the night of the Casey. I was arguing with the girls. They wanted to get home. Maisie had testing the next day.
Yeah. But then you're like,
such a nerd.
Whatever, one song, is that worth? Because it does suck.
It isn't to me because I hate not seeing, like, I've only left a couple of shows early, and I hate it.
And sometimes you want to hear the encore because they do the whole pomp and circumstance where they leave and then you know they're coming back because the lights are still on and you're like, they're going to come back and play their greatest hit.
Imagine when we did, when it was a different story because it was New Year's Eve, but when we saw Billy Joel, his second encore, he brought out Brian Johnson from AC/DC and they did Shook Me All Night Long. So we would have missed that.
Yeah, no, I know.
In fact, some people did leave early and miss that.
Yeah.
You can't have a sitter for all night, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do another one here?
Yep.
Let's go with this right here. It's kind of along the same line. Dan, Tom, and special guest of Around. I recently went to a big race event in Miami and saw a large amount of ridiculously good-looking people. It was fun observing all the people doing rubbernecking, second glances. You could even hear people saying, hot damn, in multiple languages. Just curious if F1 fans are just better looking or if Miami just has better looking sports fans. What are some of your best moment witnessing people rubbernecking? Stay sexy, T&D crew.
Well, that F1 race in Miami, that's beyond race fans.
See and be seen, right?
Yes, that's a Miami event now that the rich and famous go to, and everybody wants to be involved in, even if you don't even understand F1 racing, because I guarantee there is a large percentage of people at that event that have never been to a live race or don't even know anything about. Couldn't name 5 drivers for sure. Maybe one, but they don't know.
I give you a classic, Mario Andretti.
But it's like, but because it's it's opulent, especially in the VIP, and because of so many famous people, it draws a lot of good-looking rich people.
Yeah,
and I've heard that event is a crazy cool event to
The
go to.
Magic
The
Games-
structures they build there is insane.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
it's like a city. The Magic Games used to be a little more like that. I don't know if they are so much anymore because we actually have a team that, we have a good team.
Yeah.
So it's like the focus becomes a little more like hardcore. We want to win versus like when we just had a team, like you got people that would like, from my perspective, would scoop up tickets and then just literally go to the Mercedes Lounge in the, Kia Center to just hang out.
Yeah.
So that's where you get a lot of girls dressing very sexy and men with like opulent watches, and you get like some local guys that like to go and kind of show off their just dress up, show out a little bit.
And there is a lot of money and really experience to be had if you are a woman that is good looking and likes to work out and is okay with somewhat objectification. You know what I'm saying? Like you're around because you're insanely good looking,
Right.
and you're flaunting a little bit. You're dressing sexy and stuff.
Right.
But
I like what the path we're heading down here. What are we doing?
Well,
Where
I'm
are you
just
going
saying,
to this? What are you doing?
I will say, okay.
Why are you putting your hand in my pants?
Let's say I was a woman, right?
Yes.
And I was younger.
You'd be the better looking woman of the two of us.
Yeah, but I didn't get into
That was an insult.
But let's say I was a good-looking woman and I had some surgery done
What are you
to
gonna do?
enhance my
Labiaplasty.
and
Did you get a labiaplasty?
and if
What'd
there's
you do, Brazilian butt lift?
if there's a Vince McMahon scenario,
Oh, my
I'll
God.
take it. I have the jackass mentality.
Yeah, you do.
I'll just
You're like,
I'll do
boy,
anything.
It's fun. I'll wash it out. I'll wash it out.
Yeah. Like that's
Hand
it.
me the Pert Plus.
You want a blimpy on my hand or whatever?
Is it called the Blimpy?
Yeah, like listen,
I think you meant Blippy, not Blimpy. Blimpy is a sub shop.
Blippy. Was it Blippy or Blimpy?
Blippy.
Oh, okay.
Blimpy is a sub shop.
Oh,
Blippy
okay.
is the man that crapped on his friend and then became the children's superstar. A lot of parents don't know about that. I've made jokes about that to other parents at dance, like because
he hit
they
it
have
pretty
multiple
well.
kids,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "Oh, Blippy, watch out about him," and they'll be like, "What?" And I'll be like, yeah, he crapped on his friend in the wall. You can Google it and watch. He's got goggles on. He was trying to be Jackass Plus.
Yeah.
This guy went harder than the Jackass guy.
No, the Jackass guys. That would I've seen
I
the
don't think-
CKY videos. And
Yeah,
not the MTV
But
wouldn't let
the
us show.
original Jackasses didn't have any of that.
Well, yeah, the MTV, but behind the scenes anyway.
Oh yeah, they were into it.
But it draws a lot of good-looking people,
It does.
And so, but back to
You know
being
my
good-looking,
favorite-
you can travel the world and do a lot of cool things if
You're willing
just
to-
by being
just by going
ridiculous
hummus face.
Well,
Yeah.
not even that's the extreme. Most of it is just, are you cool with being flirty? I don't even know. Like a lot of those like women. There's agreements where it's just like, hey, I'll
That's
hang
called
out.
escorting.
Yeah.
Are there any escorts in Orlando that would be willing to talk to us about escorting? It's a thing now.
Yeah,
you
and-
can see it on Instagram, like people like actively talking about their escorts.
And we're not talking about sex workers.
But there is sex involved.
not necessarily.
But I think a lot of them just say that to keep it up and up.
No, I think some of the super rich, because a lot of the sex escorts, the rich people don't want them around because it's so easy to have some allegation or some sort of
I thought you were going to say
problems.
alligator.
No. It's like, nowadays, like you're not having a sex escort around that is like, you're like, I'm too rich to be involved
No,
with
but I
this.
think
Like,
they
if
still
it's,
do it. Like there are
Yeah.
influencers because there's different
I know,
areas
but-
of rich.
But,
So like the trashy rich, well, they don't even care.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Old money, sure, they don't want an escort.
But I'm saying they'll still have escorts that are just non-sexual escorts. Just having good-looking women around is good for business and good for.
Oh, really? Well, look around here. You're the business side. What are you doing about
Well,
it?
we don't have the money. They're the high price. Like
Let's hire some escorts to walk around here during the show.
And
I think it would put us in a better mood and make the show funnier.
I think you can get women, like we know modeling services that you could hire probably 10 models
To just walk around our studio?
Don't just be at your event and be good looking and walk around. No,
Let's do that.
I mean, that's essentially, it's not really an escort. It's just a modeling service.
Let's chum the Better Business Beer Fest with 10 ringers.
If
Right?
that's not going to make a difference.
Why not? I just want to do things, man. I just want to do things.
No, but in your suite, and if you're, super rich, if you're Pitbull, you want good-looking women around you.
I think we need a different example now because I think Pitbull's too old.
No, he's still Mr. 305, and you still want that.
Mr. 305. Let's try this one right here.
Yo, BDM Neil here again. Yeah, actually, I believe it is actually something that people want to do. I believe my daughter's trying to go do it. She was actually bummed out she didn't get selected this past year for 4th grade because you can only do it 4th grade and 5th grade. So I believe she's going to go and do it for 5th grade.
He's talking about safety patrol.
I know she has great conduct, so hopefully she gets chosen. But yeah, I think it is more popular now. For some reason, it's like changed. It's not like the old school days where everybody got made fun of for everything. Now it's like a little bit different, but
Right, really? I thought everybody get made fun of more now because safety patrol is cool. It is a very cool. Like when you're on safety patrol, you're a cool dude, and I got that one wrong.
It depends. If I asked Tommy, because Tommy, I want to know, want nothing to do with it.
Right.
I think it's really based on your personality. It's like
So me and Tommy would make fun of it.
Yeah.
Has he made fun of it?
He wants. I mean, not really made fun of. He's not like that. It's
Yeah,
not,
he's
not
not
his
gonna
personality. But
yuck on your yum, really.
he wouldn't want to do it though because he's like he doesn't even understand. He's like, why am I doing extra work?
I just
coming here early.
I just want to breathe, man. What are you
Well,
doing?
it's just like what's in it for me?
Yeah,
You're not paying me for this.
That sounds like your dad.
Yeah. Although, like I said, I even asked my mom about it. I was like, why did I do safety patrol? Because that does not seem like anything that I would be interested in.
When you had a fire in your belly.
And she was like, I think, like I said, a teacher asked you, do you want to do it? And you just said what you thought they wanted you to do. So
Yeah.
he just said, yes, I do. And then every day I just showed up.
Yeah.
So I got in the radio.
Exactly. That's how you get a job. All right, let's try this one right here.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just checking in for a Friday. It's Keyed Up BDM. Got a question for you. Is this a scam or not a scam? I placed a bar set, like a bar cabinet with some chairs and a table on Facebook Marketplace. And I got a person that said, hey, text my dad, he wants to buy this set. And I go, okay, cool. So I text the guy, and he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I want to buy the things and, have them picked up by a moving service. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'll send you a cashier's check in the mail. So the check comes, and we agreed on $1,800, and he sent it for $4,350. And he's like, oh, well, just cash it, and then when the movers come, you just pay the movers the remaining balance. Is it a scam? I think it is. I'm just gonna keep my bar set and mail them back.
Well, hold on. If he was gonna give you $4,000, it was $44,300 he was giving.
Yeah. This, sir, the fact that I'm questioning if you're leaving this voicemail as a joke. That of course is a scam. But
you say he's very naive. He's probably in the chat room. He's probably in the chat room.
I mean,
so you're saying he's a very naive man.
Yeah. Well, if he actually thinks this could be real, I mean, this is the biggest.
There's no way to
scam.
find out. You gotta deposit the money, and then when the movers come. And hope that they come in under, so you get a little piece of the pie too, right?
Yeah. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get that cashier's check in your own account, and they're going to give you the cash out of your own account.
I'm familiar with this.
And then the bank is going to inform you later on that that cashier's check was not good,
it's fraudulent charge,
and then they, I guess they get the money back, or they there's some way. It's a scam.
Yeah.
100% a scam.
Yeah, and anytime somebody wants to take whatever we're doing offline, it's a scam.
Yeah, and involve cashier's checks and involve you going and doing something
Yeah.
and then paying.
Or like, come on, get on WhatsApp. It's easier there. Don't do that. That's just don't do that. You don't need to do that.
Any mumbo jumbo is a scam. You see what I'm saying?
That's an underutilized phrase. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. The only real transaction will be someone saying, "Is this still available?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Yes, it is still available."
Where does the phrase mumbo jumbo originate?
Yeah. And by the way, I like the people. I frequent Facebook Marketplace a lot, and now in every post, someone like passive aggressively says,
"Not today, Diddy."
They're like, "Yes, this is still available." So don't ask if it's up. Like if they start getting mad, I'm like, "Calm down, bro." I'm like, I'm not. Why are you attacking me? I'm not the. Is this still available?
Did
person.
you know that mumbo jumbo is related to the biggest penis in the world, Mandingo?
Really?
Yeah. The phrase mumbo jumbo has a pretty wild and interesting origin story. It was first recorded in English in the late 1700s. We might get into trouble here. Derived from the Mandinka language of West Africa. The term comes from Mama Jambu, which refers to a masked male dancer or figure in certain West African ceremonies. He was part of secret societies and used during rituals and conflict resolution, especially when women were involved. This character wore a mask and a costume and was known for performing in public to settle domestic disputes or enforce cultural rights. British colonialists encountered Mama Jumbu and misunderstood or deliberately mocked the cultural practice. It's racist. I knew it. Over time, they corrupted the name to mumbo jumbo and began using it pejoratively to mean meaningless rituals, superstition. And it's just mocking their religion, right? That's what I think we are. I think that's what it is.
Well, I'm gonna start saying Mamu Jumbo.
No, it's a Mama Jambu.
Mama Jambu.
Mama Jambu.
Okay,
That would be the correct way to say it.
No.
Yeah, it's just a crazy way of saying nonsense. Mumbo Jumbo started as the name of serious spiritual figure in West African society, and through colonial misinterpretation, it was colonialized. It turned into a phrase of nonsense. Wow, interesting.
No, that's funny.
There you go. And then people are like, why are they mad at us? Took their words and you made them bad. You twisted them all up, Britain. Bad, bad, bad. You want to do another one?
Yeah.
Let's do this one right here.
BDM Neil here again, dude. This is back to back, bro. I'm loving this. So when you look at the bottle of vodka or any bottle that's made by Members Mark or the Kirkland brand, they will say that they've won some sort of year. Like, I don't know, I have to go look at the bottle, but it's like 6-time distilled, award-winning, 2020 vodka or whatever. Like, oh, like what the heck?
Well, I put that as a joke on our bio. Like, we are a, 12-time award-winning podcast. I mean, we're like the Ric Flair of local podcasts, right? We're like the 16-time world champion.
I mean, how many awards? There's more than that.
I think
There's
we've won
25.
12, 13, 14 times, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of plaques out there.
Yeah, so we are an award. I mean, so technically, I guess, see, to us, we're so jaded. To people that are truly professionals, if we were to tell them we are an award-winning podcast, that would mean something. But to our peers and friends, when we say we're an award-winning podcast, they just middle finger us and think it's stupid.
Does that make a difference to Kirkland brand vodka or whatever the hell, where it says oh, we won an award, and then
It must, or they wouldn't put it on there because you're wasting ink. So let's talk about it. Why is it on there?
and then you're like, oh, well, it can't be that cheap, mumbo jumbo. They can't be that cheap. I guess it does
Mambo jumbo, please.
It does psychologically tell you that it can't be that bad, because your first instinct is oh, this is generic crap.
Yeah, it's
right?
okay. Yeah,
So you're saying some judges said this not that bad,
but they're not giving many specifics.
Yeah, they probably just purchased that award. Yeah,
They could have given it to themselves. People give themselves awards. I don't know if you know that, but that's a thing.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon, after the success, I saw this meme yesterday. Vince McMahon, after the success of WrestleMania 1, had a grandiose, amazing wooden and brass trophy made. It looks amazing. And then he had wrestlers present it to him like he won it. It's a smart thing to do. It's not a bad thing to do. Well, it is a bad thing to do because you're winning nothing. But it's a great promotional tool, giving yourself an award.
Could we give ourselves Florida's Best Podcast Award.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
then we just need to get one of our friends that has like some sort of merit presented to us. I could get Jim Phillips to give it to us. Bet you I could. Bet you, or at least record into his phone. At the very least, you know.
Well, hold on.
That's what Sarah Silverman did for her new special. She just had Steve Martin record the intro to her new comedy special into a phone. I can get Jim Phillips to do that.
I bet we can get like a Jason Guy to come present it to us.
He won't talk to us anymore.
Yeah, but if we paid him, I could zell him.
What about Mo DeWitt?
Yeah, but we need someone. We need some media figure. You see what I'm saying? Like we need a media figure that has.
What about the mayor? Current mayor? He might do it.
Oh yeah.
One more favor. He's almost out of here. Heather's almost out of here, right? I don't know. What
I don't think he owes us any favors though.
Yeah, but I think he likes us. I do think he likes us. He always goes a little above and beyond.
So we get Mayor Buddy Dyer to present to us Best Podcast in Florida award.
Yeah.
And we'll just make.
No, it needs to be. I think it needs to be like of all time. It needs to be like I don't want somebody to win this after us. It needs to be like we're getting like a Ring of Honor or like Michael Jackson Video Vanguard. We need something.
Okay, hold on. But
it's got to be like Podcast Hall of Fame.
No,
Florida Podcast Hall of Fame. There you go.
We were the oldest, most successful independent podcast in Florida
that we can find.
That we can find.
That we know of. We're the oldest visible and most successful podcast in Florida that we can find.
Yeah.
That's rude. That's based here.
It's got to be based
here. If you're not based here, you eat it.
Yeah,
you eat my
yeah. Of course, there's other bigger podcasts that are based.
I mean, Rogan's bigger than us in Florida.
Yeah. Almost every other podcast is bigger than us, but based in Florida,
nobody.
From Florida, we have to put.
I don't know.
We're from Florida.
From Florida.
Yeah, Florida natives.
Based in Florida. Low IQs.
Yeah. White.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
Low IQ whites.
One's M word.
Yeah. One little low IQ white and a really low IQ tall white. A real dumb. Okay, a little average, little bitty dumb white with
kind of handicap.
Little handicapped M-word white with really dumb tall. Mid-tall.
Yeah. And he's mentally R-word.
And mean and no joy.
Yeah. I will claim that.
That's pretty good.
And then Buddy Dyer hands us. We got a lot of words on this crystal.
Why am I here again? All right, you want to do another one?
Yeah.
All right, let's try.
Oh, we got to go.
Oh, damn it.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow.
A corporate time.
Let's do some voicemail emails.
Yeah, man. Let's go with this one right here. Voicemails. And again, if you guys want to leave us some voicemails, we'd love to have them. 1-844-TOMNDAN. Or you can use our mediocre app. Totally free. All of our content's on there. And
we got a caller.
Oh, hey, thanks for. Oh, hello? I think they hung up. Right. Oh, man, I got him too. I picked him up.
Yeah.
Picked them up, but then they hung up. But yeah, show at TomandDan.com for emails. Let's start with this one right here.
Hey, Tom and Dan, and possibly one of the Rosses, or possibly Seth. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen Seth in a long time. Anyway, this is your friend Summer, and I wanted to call and comment a little bit on, you were having a conversation with, I can't remember which Ross it was. I think it was McCoy, about how people are like yelling out and stuff in shows now. It's just like about the, not so much like heckling, but just yelling, conversational talking in shows. And I was actually just talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. You know, I'm a performer. I worked at Universal, have worked at, many different places over the years. And I do a show at Universal that really lends itself to a little bit of audience participation in a way. But ever since COVID, I have noticed there has been an increase of people just screaming out what they feel. And not necessarily bad or good.
I have diarrhea.
I'm not having a great time with my family.
It's just like screaming out.
Secretly gay. Like, I do like that. Just yelling things you shouldn't say. She continues.
Okay.
Just like yelling out random stuff that it makes no sense. It doesn't add to the show. Some people will say stuff that's like insane, but for the most part, it's just. And I have noticed an increase of that since COVID, and I truly do believe people like lost their manners during that time, or they just like decided that life was too short and they were going to just scream out whatever they felt.
That's kind of what I thought. I never really bought the like, hey, we were so cooped up, we forgot how to be normal humans. I don't buy that.
No.
I do think people got scared and people were like, you know what? I'm going to live my life the way that I want to live it. And if I want to yell, I have diarrhea at my favorite Universal show, I'm going to live that way.
I also think you're right. And I also think there's a little bit of...
I'm taking my life back, you know?
Yeah,
because there was a little bit of that attitude with the vaccine and people's politicizing it. They're like, well, I'm not doing, there's a little, and I do think that people are like, I'm claiming my life.
Yes, I think you're right, but also I think that COVID was such a universal time marker that people just think of it as a time marker and reference like, oh, ever since this point.
Right.
And I don't even know if that had anything to do with what they're talking about.
You don't think the building's swaying for summer, do you?
No.
You think it's all in her brain.
I think that was a time marker. I don't know if that COVID caused people to yell out, I have diarrhea at shows. Like, why would that be? But I think that it just... like it's something you noticed and then something that you're like, oh, this was a time marker. So because why would it make sense that all of a sudden it would create worse audiences?
But why would it seem like audience are worse?
I think they just got worse over time, and
there's no reason for it. Nah, come on, there's got to be a reason for it. Everything has a reason. It's not just like we just progressed and we got. I would argue. Like, I would take the flip side of that.
Technology has gotten to the point where everybody's like, very they've created a bubble
singular,
of their own.
Yeah.
It's like
very closed circuit. Well, I would argue though that comedy is important right now, and people seem to be into it. So you would think that just relying on that they'd almost be more respectful because the space is more populated. Like, comedy's having a bit of a boom right now, whether you like it or not. But there are comedians that are like, I mean, these tours are insane. Like, they're insane.
Yeah. But I just don't know if COVID or any, that whole experience had anything to do with it. Because, like, you would think it would cause a lot more people to wear masks around. And I know there's a little bit of that.
I'm seeing a lot more of that.
But like I said, I was in New York subway, no mask anywhere. Like you see run random. It would be the same. It looked like about the same as now here. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that it would be, and like the washing your hands or a lot more sanitizers, and that kind of just all fell off. And people just regress back to what they were doing.
That was tearing my hands apart, man. My God.
But I'm saying it seemed like everything is about what it was in 2019. Everybody's behavior. So you think, why would audiences change?
It has gotten worse, though, because, even Ghost from a New Bull says this has been an issue for a while. I remember when Dan went to see Miss Pat, and then one guy kept yelling truth during her set. And Sam was with me. And it does seem, I can't say that it didn't do anything to it because the time marker works.
Another thing I've noticed that Crystal was referencing in that Ricky Gervais show, and this is a human psychology thing that I think some people have and some people don't. And the people that don't understand what the people that do have this are doing.
It's like cilantro.
Yeah, it's like a genetic thing. You can't. So, and I've seen this even with guests in our studio that watch the podcast sometimes. Sometimes there are guests that will talk.
Oh, they can't stop themselves.
To them, they can't, and they don't even know they're really doing it. They're so caught up into the show.
And we'll never tell you. We'll just let you chat away.
But I think it's their natural reaction to being immersed into a show, and they're almost like they can't help themselves from talking back to us.
Well, you could relate that back to COVID though, and how everybody did go into like almost an internet bubble. You see what I'm saying? So they could be combined. What you're referencing is people using their phone as a singular form of entertainment. And so, of course, they're talking back to it because they would talk back to their phone. Well, I mean, why did we get to that point? Well, what accelerated that? COVID did. So you can make that argument.
You could. I just think it's a natural thing that some people have where they feel, and I've seen it at shows, lots of shows,
We've seen it in here.
I've seen
had
them
it in
yeah.
here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then like those people, that's what was happening with the people behind us at Ricky Gervais, where they don't even know they're doing it, and they are so immersed into the show that they're having a conversation out loud about the show and what he's saying.
But that's not always
with
harmless.
him.
I can't let that slide. That's not always harmless. Sometimes it's performative, where that person is so starved for attention that the things that they're saying,
that could be it, yeah.
They want you to believe that subconsciously they're just so immersed in it that they can't help themselves. But no, they're putting on a little performance for you and everyone around them because they want you to know that they are a Ricky Gervais super fan. Get out of here with that crap.
It's weird that you have so little, I guess, self awareness that you can't even understand you're talking out loud in a audience of quiet people watching a show.
Right.
So that's weird.
Right. That
like
is weird.
You don't realize you're talking out loud, or you don't care, or you think that people around you like it. That's weird.
That's the one I think
that's a weird thing.
That's the one that I get. Like when that guy, I'm glad that Ghost mentioned me going to see Miss Pat, and there was a gentleman that was disrupting the entire show. He did think from like, I used
was he heckling? Because this is different.
He was not heckling.
He
was
just
interacting, and I was using all of my powers of 20-some years of really profiling people and laughing at the human experience. You know, like it's basically the only thing I've done here is like listen to and observe people and make fun of human, right? And that guy had a look on his face like he was enjoying himself, that he was not disruptive, that he was adding to. He was putting a little more clay on Miss Pat's jokes and making them a little bit better by reacting with a declarative expletive like hell yeah or truth. He really thought it was sealing the deal on the jokes.
Has anybody in this person's life told them that they liked what they were doing at the show? Because I've never heard or seen anybody tell someone, oh, this guy's loud comments during a show are great.
No.
Like, that doesn't happen.
No.
So it's weird that since no one's reinforced the fact that they like it or even told you, and we
don't shame it anymore because it gets too out of control. You shame it, and next thing you know, you get a chair upside the head at the Improv. You know, like you're fighting with some dude.
You could say,
okay, go ahead.
Go
ahead and do it.
You could definitely say,
no,
hey.
I'm saying you won't do it. Like I'm saying people don't do it.
Because it doesn't bother me enough to
I don't believe that.
Feel compelled to do it.
It does bother you. It's just, it could cause a bigger problem. I didn't do it. Why didn't I not do it? Because it could cause a bigger problem.
But you do it all the time.
But not in that setting.
Because
I'm like, what if this guy stands up and says, hey, shut the... Like, I can't play that game in front of... There's a client. We love the Improv or the Funny Bone. You know what I mean? Like, pick and choose your battles. I'll yell at the kids in the street. I'll yell at the guy that throws a sushi container out of his BMW. But in that scenario, I thought it was a bad move. And Sam wanted to say something, but I think it's a poor, I don't know how you handle that in there because you do run the risk of stopping the show. And I don't want to be that guy.
I guess you leave it up to the comedian. They'll handle it.
She did. She told us to shut up, and it kind of ruined the show. Let's try. Oh, this is a good one. It's just an email. Hey, Tom and Dan, impossible guest. Have you ever been duped? Love the show. Duped. Like completely like tricked or trying to think. Ever been duped? You ever been duped?
Yes, for sure.
I think everybody probably has, right?
I bought the speakers from the white van when I was in college.
They were pretty good though.
They're Blue Rhino, which was always I laughed at because I was like
gas.
The propane company made speakers too. It was weird.
That's how they got their propane money. They sold the speakers first, and then they elevated to propane.
But this was really internet. So I couldn't really look up the exact. I think we did look up the speakers, and they were around the same cost. Maybe like I bought them for $40 more. So like maybe that was the price, or like
I don't think I'd say that's a scam. That's just you got upcharged.
It wasn't rocks in a box. It was never like it was like that's 100% duped. Or I never paid for something where they got me so good that it was like a complete scam. Maybe like I bought the steak from the door-to-door salesman.
Again, not that bad.
The steak was fine. Yeah, maybe I could have gotten it cheaper. somewhere else, but it was like it wasn't rotten or disgusting. Like, it was good.
It may have been poorer quality. It may not have been like because there's different levels.
Yes, I couldn't tell. I was a dumb college kid.
It certainly wasn't prime.
They had sold filet mignon, filet
mignognes.
I'll
have the filet mignogne and a glass of champagne, please.
But I'm trying to think of something totally like scam duped. Not really.
I love we've had listeners that like the Chow Chow dog Leo.
Yeah.
Venezuelan Leo
scam,
and the Chow Chow dog. That was a great scam story. I don't know if I had to have been completely scammed at one point. Had to have been scammed. But it's funny because I'll move on from those because they're embarrassing. They hurt. They really, really hurt.
I'm super skeptical, so it's hard to really get me good.
But you also, I feel like you're more comfortable in the scammy areas than I am. Like, I'm never on Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook Marketplace is ripe with scams, but you find decent stuff on there.
And, like, I'll buy something from a door-to-door salesman, not anymore as much, but I have in the past, like, and it'll be some cleaning solution that, yes, I paid, probably $20 more than I should have. Or
you helped out a kid's charity,
but it was just or I've the kids selling candies at Hourglass when we were doing our t-shirt stuffing. That kid, like, I was like, how much are for the chocolate frogs, and they're like $10. And then I just gave the $10. Like, of course, it's a 50-cent box. It's an insane
nothing.
But I'm just like, I'm just donating to this kid's hustle.
Yeah.
So I don't consider that scammed because
Conway J bought the cleaning solution too. He says, in the chat room. Yeah.
And it's not just water. It has some soap in it, so it's whatever. And like
I don't really mind if a kid comes up to me and is selling like your wrapping paper. I bought a BDM's kid for dance, did the double good
donation.
Popcorn. Yeah, I love it. I love that kind of stuff. I always support it.
So, but the people that it's real sad when they start donating to there was a Netflix documentary. It's pretty good, but it has a weird ending. But it was about this chef in New York, and it was around COVID, and all of a sudden his mom contacted him. And his like long lost mom, he's like adopted, and then like she had the stories, and she knew his like where he's adopted and like some background that he knew, whatever. And then is
this person trying to weasel her way back into the life?
And then she was like, "I'm rich and I have all this money," and then she was like, "But I need to get it out of Europe. I have a lot of business over there, so travel with me to Europe." And then I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna put you in my will, so you'll get the money.
You'll be the executor of my will.
But then they go to, and then so it was this whole huge scam, like and whatever, and it was basically the like, oh, he's like, she's like, oh, my funds are wrapped up, so I just need you to pay this hotel bill.
Was this man Polynesian?
No, he was ethnic in some way. Like I forgot where.
Was he sheltered? Did he live a sheltered?
It was Polynesian. I think he was.
Do Polynesian people? They get catfished a lot, right? The matoteo.
Yeah, but this was not Hawaiian, but like an island. It was Polynesian.
Sometimes I think, and they talk about this, like they're so guarded from like the rest of society that there's a layer of like that
being naive.
Yeah, there's a naivete there that sucks. So was she all fake?
Well, I don't want to ruin
it.
But
gotcha. I'm not gonna watch that.
It gets crazy, but
those make me sad. When the person is like living a relationship with the other person for like years, that makes me sad.
But here is like where you're watching it. Like he is like giving the money and paying for the hotels and paying for all these expenses.
Yeah, because he's gonna get reimbursed, dude.
Yeah,
he knows.
And he's looking at the prize at the end. Like, my mom, and she was saying she was dying of cancer, so she'd be dead soon.
You gotta help your mom.
So like, and
you gotta let her die in a suite.
But he's paying this because he wants all the millions of the end.
So you think he's a little selfish?
Well, there's an element of you're like, I'm paying for all this now, but I'm gonna get the big money later.
Yeah.
So like that is the same thing. That's how like the the prince the old email scam where it's like, hey, I need to get my money out of Africa.
The old Nigerian prince.
Yeah, the Nigerian
I miss
prince.
you, Nigerian prince.
And so where the brilliant part of that scam is the person's giving you the money because they want bigger money later. You know what I'm saying? It was like it's all greed fueled. It's the same thing with the joke of the hovercraft. You know, it's like people, they can't hear the words you're saying because they're blinded by the hovercraft.
They're blinded by the deal.
Yeah. And then so they'll spend just to get that in reward.
Yeah, I think where they got me with that was, I won't say duped, but where I became blinded by the deal. I can give you one of those. Was one of those unbelievable car sales, and I'd been saving money as a young man to buy it would have been my second car. My first car is an 82 Rabbit convertible. Like, we spent $600 on it. But I'm working jobs and saving all this other money to trade in that car and get another car. And then I see one of the ads, and this is before I even knew that this was a scam. Like, I don't know when you discover as a young man that car dealers do the new
bait
car,
and switch,
$1,000, first one down here, that kind of, and then you get down there and you realize that,
they're advertising a car that's not even available.
It's not even available.
They did have it at one point, so they could say they
could print it.
It's a base model. Like, we don't have any of those, but we have this. It's $20,000 more.
100% what it was, and it was a base model. It was a base model little sports car or something, and I was like, this is crap.
Again, you didn't have the life experience yet because you were young, But it's the dangling the reward in front of you will get a lot of people to continue to be scammed. They'll be like, I just need to, because they have the eyes on the prize, and that gets a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's worse because you're like, man, my own greed almost made my logic, it blurred my logic, and I couldn't see what was going on because this happens in relationships where the person's with a horrible person that's bad for them.
Yeah,
but
you're talking about Andrea, right?
No. It's usually with a person that maybe the sex is really good, or
you're talking about Andrea, right?
Some part of it that you don't want to give up, and then you keep justifying all the behavior because you want that sweet poontang.
Yeah. Speaking of sweet poontang and wang bang sweet poontang Ted Nugent, that's a perfect segue. Hey T&D, we had our first bear in Winter Park in a Winter Park neighborhood, so I researched what to do on FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission website. It states, quote, if you encounter a bear at close range, you should speak to the bear in a calm, assertive voice. So I wrote and asked, are there other wild animals in Florida that I should be concerned about if I see? And they wrote back, good afternoon. Thank you for reaching out to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. In general, it's best to practice to give all wild animals space. If any wild animal notices you and does not flee, you should speak to it in a calm, assertive voice. If a wild animal in Florida does make physical contact with you, you should fight back. That may not be the case in other states with different wildlife species. This is a reason Florida ranks last in education. That's what he said.
So, black fight back.
Yeah.
That's how he said it. And
There you
Nugent
go.
was like, no, that BS. I'm like, that's what it is.
Slap popping on the nose.
Yeah, there's no wild animals in Florida that I'm ever nervous about, except for gators at sunset if you're walking your dog or you have a baby or something by the water.
Yeah.
But other than that, even my
I have
kids,
my baby walking my dog by the water.
by a waterfront at dusk, I'm a little apprehensive about splashing around or messing around down there, but other than that, I walk through any woods and I'd hope to see a bear. How awesome that would be.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, I know, but it would be I would consider it lucky if I ever saw a black bear in the woods, just for how rare and cool it'd be. I wouldn't be scared of it at all,
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen wild boars, and I wasn't like, oh God, better get out of here. And people have told me they'll tear you up.
I remember.
I just threw a rock at them.
I guess the boar, which is an invasive species in Florida,
Saw it on a camping trip.
My pop would tell me he'd carry around a 357 out in the Everglades because they would hunt hogs out there, and then if you got ran across a boar in a Everglades head, that it would start tusking you, your legs
don't
up.
please don't tusk
Yeah.
me. And in my way, I better get a gun because like I can't run from a bull right now.
So
It'll gore me good.
Yeah, it'll gore your legs and thighs.
And then I'll be like
Yeah,
Robert
bleed you out.
Baratheon, you know?
Yeah.
I'll die, like just like Robert.
Yeah. So I think they were.
Oh, and then Joffrey's king. Oh, that's bad.
I remember my Pop was more concerned about boars than any other animal out in the Everglades, just from the fact that it would bore or gore your legs.
If I get rich, which
Boar gore.
I don't think I will. You know what? A boar gore to you, sir. If I get rich, and I don't think I will, first thing I'm doing is I'm renting Mike Busey's friend's helicopter, and I want to shoot a rocket launcher at a boar.
Okay, all right.
I want to blow a boar up.
It's all right. You'd have to go to a different country, I think, to do a rocket launcher. You could do machine guns. They have that in like Texas.
Yeah, they get the helicopter boar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
flights.
I see you on TikTok.
Will they dress the boar up like Pikachu? Right? It'd be more fun.
Yeah.
What
Or
if we
paint it?
What if we had? Okay, we could do machine guns here in the Everglades. So you just paint the boar like a Pikachu.
There's more
Squirtle. Paint him like a Squirtle.
The damn Everglades, they made it all a national park. My pop, he was mad about it.
Can't do nothing out here.
Yeah, it used to be the Wild West. Like
Yeah.
they were out there, you know.
It's like Waterworld.
Yeah, you just shoot guns, and then the Everglades National Park, and then there are a bunch of rangers now. Anyway.
God, Ricky, see, here's more proof. I have lived in Green Swamp for 30 years, seen every kind of animal you could ever think of. I have never seen a bear. I think it's pretty. I think when you see one, it's like magical.
And if you live there and you had trash, they'll be in your trash.
Yeah,
because
because you're probably just doing it too good.
Where Scott York, there's a bear in his trash like once a month, I think. And there like Markham Woods and there's a bunch of places that if you live, there's bears always constantly in trash. To enough where it's like raccoons. But again, all those people are just they're nuisance animals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You want to do one more voicemail, or we take a break?
yeah. Well, let's get out of here.
Yep. All righty, buddy.
We will see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Real quick, the Orlando Science Center is doing their Science Night Live on superheroes, DC Comics, and that's May 31st. And they just opened their brand new exhibit, all based on superheroes. They opened that this past weekend.
A lot of people don't think about that, but I think a lot of times that's why nerds gravitate to superheroes is the idea that their powers are science-based, and
They are
science fiction-based.
They're supernatural,
Yeah.
but they kind of operate in our natural world.
Sure.
But there's like science behind all the superpowers.
What's your
right?
favorite superpower? You got one?
Invisibility.
Yeah, me too. For obvious reasons.
Yeah,
For obvious reasons.
When I was a
Yeah.
kid, I was like, I wish I was invisible.
Yeah, I mean, we even have a guest here today, and I would say, excuse me for a second.
I think, where's Daniel?
Yeah,
Well, he's definitely not in the
yeah.
bathroom. Don't use a fire extinguisher.
He's probably checking the mail. But whatever you do, don't blow vape smoke in the bathroom, or you might see him.
Yeah, don't poke around in the corners.
Yeah. Don't go brooming around.
Yeah. If you hear something, just ignore it.
If you hear something, don't say something.
All right.
I wanted to bring this up. We got a voicemail on the. We got a voicemail on the landline. The landline is proving to be my favorite because it's so weird. I think landlines are more weird than like any digital. Like when I get a message from Mediocre Message from our app, it's one of our listeners guaranteed. The landline, I don't know what I'm going to get. Right, so it's still an open portal to the world.
I don't know anybody with a landline.
We got rid of ours. I cut the cable finally too. We can talk about it.
Yeah, now I remember you telling me you were going to.
Yeah, I'm finally done.
It's really, what's the reason for having it? You know what I'm saying? Like you can go.
It was so consistent,
and now
and it was my workflow. It was so nice when everybody else's stream was down to be able to go like, well, not mine because I got an old 30-inch cable jacked through the wall, baby, old coaxial, and tried and true. But on the topic of AI that we're batting around a little bit with Mo, I got this message on our landline, and I believe this to be AI. Now you can tell me you may not think it's AI. I believe this to be AI. Not only do I believe this to be AI, it's the greatest AI I've heard,
Okay.
Because you can hear the AI, and he goes away. He'll do one of these where he's like talking to you, and then he's like looking for the documents. He goes away from the mic of the phone, and he comes back.
Yeah,
he goes away a little bit, and you can hear him. They're starting to like, I think, cleverly weave like human characteristics into this crap.
Yeah, because that's an easy way to tell if you're talking to an AI voice is because you're like, it's too clean.
Too steady.
It's too steady. There's no mistakes. And I'm sure they're realizing that, and they're like, add more mistakes.
That's why I can almost feel it in the music, especially in songs like jazz. The reason that AI, if you want to like detect it, jazz breathes for the most part, you know, like the rhythm section there is slowly speeding and dragging at all times, you know, and that's kind of what makes it's like alive. You know, you can hear it sometimes in AI. Now, eventually we won't. But so tell me what you think of this.
Well, I like the idea of AI saying, wait a minute, you want me to add mistakes? They're like, to sound more like humans. And you're like, the AI is like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Because it's like, you want me to be more flawed? I'm perfect.
I use it the most here of the two of us, and I'd say that it's very difficult to get it to try and talk like to make mistakes. Like I have a hard time.
Yeah, it can't compute why. Why are you making me make mistakes?
It's kind of like you. It's like, why are you just running in a sprinkler having fun? It's like, that's a mistake. Okay. So here is what I consider to be the greatest AI I've heard so far. And it may not be AI. You tell me what you think. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, this is James from the Business Help Center. Today is Tuesday, the 20th. We're having an urgent issue with your Google business listing and need you to call us at your earliest convenience, 866-617-7724. That's 866-617-7724. Our office closes at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, so please call us back before then. And if you think you received this message in error, simply call us back and let us know. But again, we're having an urgent issue.
I love that he turns and he's talking like he's looking at a coworker, like, yeah, Wendy's is fine. I'll go to Wendy's.
He took a sip of something.
Yeah. He's like a Baconator Junior.
You're right, but that is it. I think it is AI.
Yeah, it's definitely AI. And then the ending is also AI because he does like baby. He does like a little sing-songy thing at the end. Oh, just wait.
With your Google business listing, specifically on Google Maps with Google's new AI, and need you to call us at your earliest convenience. 866-617-7724. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. That's how my wife does it. That was pretty good. My wife does that dumb
at the
crap.
end, it got better. Where then I started doubting. I was like, "Is this AI?"
Yeah.
Because it was like really human.
And then at the end, he checks out, which everybody does, because you're making a bank of calls. You're like, okay, call us back at your earliest convenience. Okay, thank you, baby.
Dude, we're on the cusp of not being able to tell.
I think we're on the cusp of robot wives. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. In Westworld.
I'm down for that.
We're literally on the cusp of Westworld.
I'll stop bothering you if I got a robot wife. I'll bother her though. It'll be bad.
Yeah, it'll be
Diddy bad.
Yeah, exactly. Bringing the Punisher. Did you read about that guy?
Wait until you see what I do to this robot.
Did you read about the escort known as the Punisher?
No. What is that?
Oh, we read about him. Oh my God, he's terrible. He's terrifying.
I don't want to read that.
They're all monsters. Lock them all up. Lock them up.
I really don't seek out any bad, horrible stories. Or
don't. It's real bad.
I'm just I don't want it. I don't even want to consume it because I do think it changes.
Let's go with a happy story. Let's turn it around. How about a happy story? How about a story of creation?
Hey, did you guys know that Mummy Pig from Peppa Pig has welcomed a new baby girl? I'll let you guys guess the name. Joining the family is Peppa Pig's little sister. The announcement was made live on ITV's Good Morning Britain. This is pressing news.
Does someone have a gun to this guy's head? Telling you call Tom and Dad and you say all these crazy things about Peppa Pig having a baby sister because he sounds like he's in distress. Somebody has a gun to that man's head.
He's like, read this letter about Peppa Pig.
You read it like you care.
Yeah. I'll blow your brains
out. I'm gonna blow your brains. You'll never see your family again, you mother. So Peppa Pig, a Mommy Pig from Peppa Pig. And Daddy Pig's still getting it, and Mommy Pig had.
Isn't she a little old? The mom.
Yeah, that's my first thing I said to my wife is like, are they? You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna do a test.
Complications. Yeah, it's a complication.
If they do the test, are they gonna go through with it, or
Yeah.
Because
no, they'll go through. They already got bored. Yeah. So.
Okay. anytime someone's surprised about what happens in a cartoon, I'm like, they could do whatever they want. Like they're not bound by anything. Like, whatever idea they come up with, they can do.
They just need a new life into it, right? I mean, this is the epitome of adding a little red-haired kid to Different Strokes. This is
they could. How long has Peppa Pig been going?
Well, that's a great question. Let me find out.
It's not like The Simpsons or anything, right?
It's been going a while. I mean, it's like I wouldn't say it's like
ever since my kids were born, so that's at least 11 years that I know of, and it was way before that. So I'm gonna guess 25 years, like 90s. Hold on, did it come on?
Maybe
90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s or something. 2004.
Okay, so 20 years. Yeah.
430
21.
episodes across 8 seasons. The baby's name is Baby Evie. Mummy Pig's third child. This edition has been accompanied by new episodes and merchandise, including toys and playsets. Yeah, they had to. They're like, we're rolling out a baby, make more Chinese garbage.
How much money has Peppa Pig, the brand, made? Put that in. And I want to try to guess, because that's where the money is in the merchandising. And
I mean, just ask Bluey about that.
Yeah. And those merchandising deals, I mean, think about Britain's audience across the world, United States, how big it is. Like,
all right, I got a number.
Okay, I'm gonna go. God, has it amassed?
Well, it was.
I'm gonna go 500 million.
You're low.
Yeah, it's $1 billion, right?
Yeah. It's $1.3 billion.
Okay, I was gonna guess $1 billion. Yeah, God, that was my first.
You're almost a full billion off, like a billion, $1.25 billion, and
I was gonna say $1 billion, and then I was like, that's gonna make you sound real stupid there, like because did they make Peppa Pig make $1 billion? And
it did.
20 years made $1 billion.
Yeah, Hasbro acquired Entertainment One, the parent company of Peppa Pig, for approximately 3.3 billion pounds, around $4 billion US. This is back in 2019. So then, as of 2025, it has amassed approximately 1.3 billion US.
Yeah. The merch, every single store across the.
What about
country.
Bluey? You think Bluey's worth more?
No, I don't think. I think Peppa Pig is a bigger brand than Bluey. I think
it's been around longer, but I think Bluey had more of a meteoric rise.
I don't think Bluey's amassed $1 billion. I would go.
Adults like Bluey a lot too. Oh my God, you're wrong.
No.
As of 2025, the Bluey franchise is valued at approximately $2 billion US.
Oh wow, double.
Yeah. They say that Bluey has become a worldwide phenomenon, airing in 60 countries, and it's translated into over 25 languages. Toys, books, Legos, blah, blah, blah. Streaming is huge. Live experiences. They're doing an immersive attraction in Brisbane called Bluey's World. And there's an upcoming feature film.
I'm such an idiot because if I think about it deeper, like, of course, there's so much money in these little kid brands because think about...
We need a little kid brand.
Well,
Rob Dyrdek tried to do it with his stupid skaters, those little, we're the skate gang, or whatever he did.
It didn't grab a hold.
We need to do that. It's two little podcast buddies.
No,
the pod buddies.
That's already old.
Hey, it's the pod buddies.
We're
just some kids that don't have any friends doing a podcast in our mom's basement.
Because think about all the grandparents and friends.
What's up with Epstein's Island? Pod buddies.
All these people going to like a 2-year-old's birthday party. They don't know what the hell to buy, so they just go to Target, buy some Bluey garbage.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's like for $38, and then it costs $3 in China to make, and then it's like and that's everywhere across the entire country. Like how many stores that is and what that in other countries, and like it's just so much money at a certain point, and it's just never ending because there's a never ending amount of kids that are 2-year-olds that are having birthday parties, and you don't know what to get the kid, and you get him, he likes Bluey.
I mean, in a weird way, it fuels the economy, right? Like the want and needs of children and the willing parents to buy it.
And we're all lazy, so we just put our 2-year-olds in front of the TV and make Bluey babysit the movie because we don't do anything, and then it's like it's all set up perfectly to make $1 billion.
I was just looking at Bluey toys last night. My wife reminded me that like every Tuesday, because my daughter dances the latest on Tuesdays, we go to Target and we just walk down the toy aisles and look at everything, and it's just they have a whole Bluey, a whole aisle. And they have...
God, it's so cheap to make, too.
But they have, like, big ones, small ones, plushies, anything you want. They got it. You know, like, just unlimited Bluey stuff.
How much do you think they spend on writers for the Bluey episodes?
Now that I would say probably a decent amount, because I know the voice acting on that one is very coveted. The voice actors, I believe, in Bluey had more famous jobs beforehand or were working in entertainment. So not that they're recognizable, but they are so recognizable now that I guarantee you they're getting paid.
Yeah. And I'm sure the company
and
is like...
Peppa's voice, I think, has changed once.
Yeah.
Or maybe twice. There's like a new Peppa because she aged out, obviously. You can't have a little girl, you know.
For sure, the next...
Kathleen Turner, Peppa Pig.
The next generation of these cartoons, because it's not going to end, because there's still...
It'll all be AI voices.
Yes, yeah. Because you don't have to pay.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, it just takes a job away from a human.
Yeah.
But of course, a big company is going to be like, I'd rather not pay, because that human can then ask for more money.
I can also
leaves.
make the voice anything I want, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know, like I can fine tune it. You know,
and the kids are like, they don't know. They're just looking at
they're
their...
stupid.
they're 2-year-olds. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a human's voice.
No, it isn't now. Like I am like, it's hard for me to digest it, but I realize I'm a dumb old man. But if I'm watching TikTok or if I'm watching Instagram and it's one of those ones where, and I have friends that do these, where they just like video what they're doing and they're like, I'm at Disney World enjoying the beer fest. This beer is so good. I had a Coastal IPA, and I just want to smash my phone.
You're like,
I'm like, why? Don't do that. Please stop doing that. Don't do
that.
But
we're just watching it. Yeah. 10 million views.
But I hate it, and people are like that. Watch me get ready for the day. First, I start with a base layer of mascara. And I'm like, oh, my God, I want to kill you. I hate you.
But we're still watching it. We're like, so lazy. I was like, it's weird. Okay, scroll. Anyway.
Let's do it. You want to do it?
No,
we got to get out of here.
Yeah. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.